Hi guys, welcome to yet another session of 12 minutes to CLAT. Today we're going to discuss about the recent controversy of the Toolkit case that happened in India, and we will understand as to what this Toolkit case is all about. We'll also understand as to what is this Toolkit case, what actually is a toolkit. We'll also look into as to who are the people who actually supported these case. Okay, the first one was Greta Thunberg, who actually started it in India. And who is Greta Thunberg, and this is something that we'll look into this video. We will also understand as to who is Disha Ravi, who is the prime accused of this toolkit case in India. She has been accused of various offences, including sedition. So at the end of this video, we will see as to what is the law on sedition in India and how does it use and how is it generally used in India. So we'll understand as to whether we need a law like sedition in India, because in India we actually respect and guarantee everyone a right to freedom of speech and expression, right? So let's start as to what actually is a toolkit. So for any mass movement, let's take an example of Citizenship Amendment Act, where there was a lot of protest in our country. Let's take an international example of Hong Kong protests against Chinese intervention very recently, okay? For both these issues, I have made full-fledged properly explaining videos. So if you're not aware about these, you can visit the current affairs playlist and watch these videos again, so you'll understand as to what these protests were all about. And one such protest is the farmers protest. Okay, now farmers protest में भी बहुत सारे लोग include हो गए हैं. This has been going for quite some time now. So farmers protest में भी toolkit में क्या होता है? It is basically a set of suggestions और basically आपको तरीके बताए जाते हैं कि आप किसी particular protest को कैसे support कर सकते हो. ओके, सो इस पर्टिकुलर टूल किट केस में भी एक ऐसा फॉर्म दिया गया था, एक गूगल फॉर्म दिया गया था ग्रेटा थर्नबर्ग के द्वारा, हु ट्वीटेड अ पर्टिकुलर फॉर्म ऑन 3rd February 2021, राइट? अब देयर वाज अ प्रॉब्लम विद दिस फॉर्म, दैट दिस फॉर्म वाज आउटडेटेड, बिकॉज इस फॉर्म में कुछ चीजें ऐसी भी लिखी थी दैट पीपल शुड digitally support this movement on 26 January 2021. Now this was not possible क्योंकि ये ट्वीट ही उन्होंने 3rd February को किया था. She realized it pretty quickly और उन्होंने कुछ ही मिनटों में उस ट्वीट को डिलीट कर दिया. But by then, since Greta Thunberg is a public figure and she is a really popular environmentalist, if you're not aware about who actually is Greta Thunberg, listen to this speech that got really viral 2-3 years ago.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
So this is 15-year-old Greta Thunberg at that time asking, or basically, reprimanding the various political leaders in the world and asking them to make sure that the ecological balance is conserved for the future generation, and not just few rich people in the society and few rich people in the world take advantage at the cost of the entire world, because the environment is degrading day by day, right? So she has started various initiatives, I would say, to actually conserve the environment. So she actually tweeted on 3rd February 2021, but she deleted it later. After that उन्होंने एक और ट्वीट किया था, which was basically an updated version of it. Okay, so it was an updated toolkit that she tweeted. Now this was done and there was a lot of hue and cry when people said that she's trying to incite people against the government and things like these. Now while she tweeted this, there were two organizations that she clearly mentioned in her tweet, that she clearly tagged in her tweet. Those organizations were Fridays for Future India and Extinction Rebellion India. Okay, ये दो ऐसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस थी. अब फ्राइडे फॉर फ्यूचर इंडिया जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, इसकी जो इंडिया में हेड है, दैट इज दिशा रवि. और ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन करती क्या है? ये बेसिकली स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स और कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स की बनाई हुई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है. ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हर फ्राइडे को रैलीज करती हैं, बेसिकली बैनर्स लेके और भी अलग अलग तरीके से बहुत ही पीसफुल रैली करती हैं, और ये लोगों को अवेयर करती हैं कि कैसे आप लोगों को एनवायरनमेंट कंजर्व करने के लिए स्टेप्स लेने चाहिए, बिकॉज सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट के बारे में सबने सुना होगा. सो ऑब्वियसली वी नीड सर्टेन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चरल डेवलपमेंट्स एंड वेरियस अदर काइंड्स ऑफ डेवलपमेंट, बट डेफिनेटली वी कैन नॉट डू इट एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट, है ना? हम एनवायरनमेंट को एक लिमिट तक ही डिग्रेड कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज उसके बाद फ्यूचर जनरेशंस आर गोइंग टू सफर, राइट? सो इसी कॉज को ये लोग आगे बढ़ाते हैं. एंड दिशा रवि, हु इज अ 22-year activist, is the head of the organization, or I would say an initiative called Fridays for Future India. नाउ ये जो टूल किट था जो इंडिया में जो सर्कुलेट हुआ था, नाउ इट इज कंसिडर्ड कि ये बनाया गया था एक फाउंडेशन विच इज कॉल्ड पोएटिक जस्टिस फाउंडेशन. पोएटिक जस्टिस फाउंडेशन को कहा जाता है दैट इट इज अ प्रो खालिस्तानी फाउंडेशन. सो खालिस्तानी मूवमेंट क्या होता है? So in 1969 there was this person called Jagjit Singh Chauhan who lost in the Punjab Assembly elections in 1967, and 2 years after that he started this movement called Khalistani movement, wherein he demanded that Sikh community should have a separate homeland. ठीक है, एक कंट्री जैसा एक होमलैंड होना चाहिए which is a sovereign. सोवरेन का मतलब होता है इट इज फ्री ऑफ एनी आउटसाइड इंटरफेरेंस और कंट्रोल. जैसे हमारी कंट्री एक इंडिया इज अ सोवरेन, वैसे ही नीडेड अ सोवरेन स्टेट फॉर सिख कम्युनिटी. सो दिस वाज द खालिस्तानी मूवमेंट. हाउएवर उसकी पॉपुलैरिटी कुछ टाइम में कम हो गई थी, बट इट इज स्टिल सीन दैट देयर आर सर्टेन एलिमेंट्स, और पाकिस्तान में कुछ ऐसे ग्रुप्स हैं जो इसको फिर से रिवाइव करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. एंड दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जिसने ये एक्चुअली टूल किट को सर्कुलेट किया था, this organization is considered a pro-Khalistani organization, although there is no proof of any such activities that is undertaken by the organization so far. Now, इसमें दिशा रवि का क्या दोष है? That is something which everybody is asking, right? So Disha Ravi was actually one of the editors of this toolkit. Okay, so she was one of the chief editors of this toolkit, and that is why she has also been actually accused in this case, and she has been accused of sedition. दिशा रवि के साथ साथ इस केस में दो और लोगों को अक्यूज किया गया, विच इज निकिता जैकब हु इज अ बॉम्बे बेस्ड लॉयर, एंड देयर इज अनदर पर्सन कॉल्ड सिद्धार्थ मुलुक. ओके, सो इन लोगों को भी अक्यूज किया गया अलॉन्ग विथ हर, ऑल्दो निकिता जैकब और सिद्धार्थ मुलुक को इनिशियली बेल मिल गई थी, एंड दिशा रवि वॉज एक्चुअली सेंट टू पुलिस कस्टडी फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ 5 days. नाउ द पॉइंट इज दैट शी हैज बीन अक्यूज्ड ऑफ समथिंग कॉल्ड सेडिशन. Now what exactly is sedition? That is something we need to look into. So sedition is basically defined in section 124A of the Indian Penal Code 1861, which states that whoever by words either spoken or written or by signs or by visible representation or otherwise brings into hatred or contempt or excites or attempts to excite disaffection towards government established by law in India may be imprisoned for life or plus fine, for 3 years plus fine or fine. Okay, so these are certain punishment that is given for sedition, which is actually up to life imprisonment. और इसका क्या मतलब होता है कि अपने वर्ड से या आप कुछ ऐसा बेसिकली स्केच बना सकते हो, और बाय एनी अदर विजिबल रिप्रेजेंटेशन इफ यू ट्राई टू एक्साइट पीपल अगेंस्ट द गवर्नमेंट. अगर आप गवर्नमेंट के अगेंस्ट कुछ ऐसा करते हो कि बहुत सारे लोगों को लगता है दैट दिस इज राइट एंड दे एक्चुअली ट्राई टू डू समथिंग अगेंस्ट द गवर्नमेंट, दे ट्राई टू defame the government basically, then it is called sedition, right? Now the problem is that this law, the particular law of sedition, was introduced in 1861 at the time of British Raj. Now why did Britisher include this law is because obviously at that time we were not independent, and they wanted to curb any voice that is raised against the British government, right? The problem is, do we actually need a law in India which is now a free country? We are a democratic country, and as a democratic country, to each and every citizen we allow a right to freedom of speech and expression. I understand that there are certain reasonable restrictions to it, but is criticizing the policies of the government, criticizing the laws of the government in any manner which is obviously not violent, okay, can it in any way excite masses against the government, or is it illegal? Should it be made illegal at all? This is something that we have to consider. A fun fact here is that although this law was introduced by the Britishers in India, we are still carrying it, right? A lot of people over the last decade have been accused under the offence of sedition, including various famous personalities like the writer Arundhati Roy, Hardik Patel, and various other people, Kanhaiya Kumar. Okay, so these are certain people who have been accused under this particular act. But in 2009, United Kingdom themselves have actually abolished the law of sedition, because they also feel that in a democratic country wherein you guarantee everyone right to freedom of speech and expression, law of sedition has no space at all. However, this has not been done in India, and I hope that this is done soon, because obviously it does not make sense for us to, accuse people of sedition. Now, against this particular law of sedition and against the arrest of Disha Ravi, there has been a petition filed by the Delhi High Court Women Lawyers Forum in the Supreme Court. ठीक है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में उन्होंने petition फाइल किया है, Delhi High Court Women Lawyers Forum ने, and they have asked that Disha Ravi का जो particular case है, she should not be accused of sedition because sedition को बहुत misuse करके उनको कहा गया है. And they've also said that this entire law, which is section 124A of the Indian Penal Code, should be revisited. है ना, Supreme Court को उसको ठीक से देखना चाहिए, and this should not be there in a country like India. Okay, so let me know as to what your views are on the entire toolkit case and also on the law on sedition. Mention all your views in the comment box. We'll take it from there. And if anybody has any contrasting views or any supporting views in the comments, you can always mention it. I'll be happy to take it from there. If you like our sessions, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any updates from us. Keep liking us and keep following us. Thank you.